Wrestling Paradox Podcast family, what is up? It is Cole Slawson here with you. We just want to thank Marcus Andrade at M&J Ecological, 305-697-2258. If you live in the South Florida area and have any pests, iguanas, lizards, snakes, give Marcus a call and he'll help you out with that, 305-697-2258. Thank you, M&J Ecological. And as always, we want to thank Coastal Championship Wrestling, the fastest growing indie promotion in the Southeast, the last territory in professional wrestling. That's right, the last territory. And if you want news, updates, show dates, please go ahead to Twitter and follow them at CCWFL. That's at CCWFL for all your Coastal Championship Wrestling news, updates, show dates, fastest growing territory. Check them out. Don't miss out at CCWFL.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Wrestling Paradox Podcast. Hello,
Podcast.
Thank you. Finally, it's only taken 57 episodes.
I make it a rule to not echo anything you say. So I'm good.
Anything
Whatever.
you can say will be used in the court of law.
At some point in your life, yes. Joe.
That's true. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Wrestling Paradox Podcast. You know what? Go ahead, Slawson. I pay you good money. You do it.
Okay, I don't know what he's talking about, but he just went from blurry to in our face. So what's up, everybody? I also don't know what we're really talking about today. What are we talking about? Tough SOBs? Is that what we're talking about?
SOBs.
The only people on the list
Sob?
are people from Texas with that description, SOBs. Do they have to be somebody that JR has called a tough SOB, or is it whoever?
And
He's
a
tougher than a
slobber
$2
knocker.
steak. He's tougher than a $2 steak.
That one, yeah.
A slobber knocker.
Oh, snassel fries.
Toughest sassafras list. Can we do that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that is, but I would put Joe at the top of it.
He smells like a snassel fries.
Is
You
Nick
look like-
Turner
smell like
considered a tough SOB?
Terry Funk, done. List
Is
over.
Nick Turner.
Okay, well, Nick is a tough guy. Yes, sure. He's not.
Okay, just want to make sure Nick Turner's a tough guy.
That's fine. I still think Terry Funk would have a shot in that battle.
I think Nick Turner would kick Terry Funk's ass.
Okay, so now what are the stipulations? of this
Anybody can
list?
kick Terry Funk's ass. Did you ever see when Terry Funk got
Bob
kicked?
Holly is the bar. Bob Holly is the minimum bar.
Terry Funk is tougher than Bob Holly. Chris,
What?
do you remember that Terry Funk was in a bunkhouse brawl match and he got kicked in the head by a horse on WCW television? That was great. That makes him the toughest man right there. Done.
It was actually, I saw it. It was funny.
It's the best thing ever.
So wait. So now you're saying Bob? No, see, because I have people that I think is tough. They just didn't get a shot in wrestling, like that, like didn't get a push in
Kimbo
wrestling.
Slice.
No, not Kimbo Slice.
Dennis
Like,
We're
Rodman.
not wrestling here, man.
Dennis
Okay.
Rodman was the wrestler. He's pretty tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he also wears dresses, and people that wear dresses.
That's how you know he's tough. Or Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper's on my
You're
list.
weird. You want to wear a dress.
So is Roddy Piper's on that list then? I think I would throw this out there. I don't know if you know the famous story of Paul Orndorff knocking out Vader, but both those guys are pretty tough. I would say Paul Orndorff should be higher on the list because he knocked out Vader. But yeah.
I mean,
Would we
my
say
list-
Shawn Michaels is tough?
No, he's not on this list. That's a different list for most glittery or best worker. Or, I think
Or
I'm
best,
several.
best eyes looking at two different things.
yeah, the eyepiece on his glasses is tough because it keeps,
Yeah, dude, that's the toughest
Yeah.
piece of optometry. His optometrist is pretty tough.
He gets paid twice.
My man has one eye on WrestleMania and the other one on a return.
So like, okay, my two are gonna be a little
Are we just
odd.
gonna-
I'm just gonna
We're
go
doing
two.
two?
I'm gonna do two right now, right off the top of my head. Arn Anderson, because he stabbed Sid Vicious with scissors.
Stab him, yeah.
Okay, which is a gnarly story in all of itself when he tells it. But my second one, the reason why I wanted to ask if Bob Holly had to be like the fucking plateau, because this guy was built. he had the look of a wrestler, and like from the stories that you hear now, like he was this like badass, but he just didn't get a pro wrestling push. Was Bull Buchanan?
Bull Buchanan. He used to be managed by Don Calais, actually, the Truth Commission, and Bret Hart came up with that idea, actually, which is funny.
Yeah.
And now Bull Buchanan, I think,
Thanks for your
I think he's a
input.
stunt man. I think he's a stunt man, or he was a stunt man.
Cool.
Yeah.
But he's huge. I haven't. Is he a tough guy? I haven't heard any stories. Is he like?
I heard that. Yeah, he was a tough guy. And that like no one wanted to fuck with him, but he was like he wasn't like he didn't portray himself to be a tough guy. It's just like if he was messed with or poked.
Ah, gotcha. So he's like Undertaker falls under that. I mean, Undertaker's just a tough guy in general, but he was more of like a hey, I need you to help me out, and he fought for what was correct in his eyes. Kind of.
He didn't say that. He said, "Come on over here to the dark side."
What about RVD? Is RVD a tough guy?
I mean, I guess most of those ECW guys fall under tough guy, but if I'm putting it together a tough 10, if you will, that's what I'm gonna call it, tough 10. I don't think RVD. I think there's already 10 people on that list before RVD is named.
Really? Okay.
Why?
Bruiser Brody.
Are you gonna name just people that? Yeah, yes, Bruiser Brody would be on that. That is correct.
There you go.
I was waiting for you to name like fucking
Stan
Shark
Hansen.
Boy or something. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Stan Hansen.
Stan Hansen is a tough guy. I think you can't even get past 19, or let's go 1982 without making the top 10 of the list right there already, right? Like the toughest generation is behind us, no? Like nobody's carrying Halliburton's in their gear bag. Nobody's carrying like nobody's stabbing each other in the locker room. Nobody's stabbing each other in hotel rooms. Nobody's, you know?
Yeah, and like that's why I wanted to know what the stipulations were, because like there's going to be different decades of like badasses. You know, I think from me personally, just in the sport of professional wrestling, I would say from like 2008 to now, there's very little badassery.
I would say everybody on that list, if there was a list from 2008 to now, it would be Japanese related, just in the way that they wrestle anyways. So I think that those guys are definitely, there's a lot of active guys on New Japan that I would put in a list like that. But if I had to force them into a list with the guys from the 70s and 80s, I don't even think they would make the list.
No, yeah. I mean, like, look at the 90s. Like,
90s too. 90s had its own level of toughness, you know, like Vader was a tough guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Vader was one of them. Undertaker is in that category. I feel like Scott Hall. Scott Hall is a tough guy.
Or how about Jerry Flynn?
Dude, Jerry Flynn was like one of those legit like karate
boxers. Yeah. Who was the other one?
Okay, Steven Regal, dude. He used to bare knuckle. Steven Regal is definitely a tough motherfucker.
Steven Regal's got to be like, he went head to head with Goldberg like on Monday Night Raw, like embarrassed him.
He can embarrass most people, I would think. But I would also think if there was a 90s list, then Steven Regal is definitely top 3, I would say. Top 3 for sure. With Vader.
Mike Enos.
Was he? Oh yeah, he's one of those Minnesota Wrecking Crew boys. He's Mike Enos, any of those Minnesota guys, dude. There's so many. There's so many.
What about Pat McGroin?
No, he's in Tampa. You're not being very communicable right now.
Oh, he's just eating.
I'm done eating. I'm reading what happened tonight.
Oh.
Well, we have a podcast to do, Joe. So,
Logan Paul was on SmackDown.
Where does Logan Paul rank on your top 10?
He beat Mayweather. He beat Mayweather.
Sadly, that doesn't help me put him higher on any list.
He beat Mayweather.
Did he?
Yeah.
You know what? Let's not talk about big guys and badasses and everything like that.
Let's talk about Marco Stunt. Is that
no? Let's talk about
toughest little guys.
Let's talk about
little guys.
No, let's talk about the conversation that Joe and I had on the phone yesterday. And that Joe, well, first off, the Young Bucks said in their bio, and Joe agreed with it on their bio, new bio on Twitter. It says, "No one hates professional wrestling more than professional wrestling fans."
I hate professional wrestling. I think it's the stupidest thing in the world.
Do you?
I do.
See, that's but see, that's
Professional wrestling has ruined every other aspect in my life. I cannot watch a superhero movie without thinking like, it's not as real. It's ruined everything for me.
as with most things in life, nothing is real.
You're
Nothing-
not real, man.
You know, I might not be. But do you think that that's because they're talking about social media basically, because those are just fans that get on there and I think those are the fans that you meet them at a show and you're going, oh yeah, they're the biggest mark set of all of them, and then they go on Twitter and they fucking run their mouths. That's what I think. I don't think anybody that does that actually hates professional wrestling. I think it's like I think social media has given a lot of fans that think they're smart or maybe are smart but are getting overzealous, is that it makes them feel like they're in the business because you're let in on everything these days. So I think that's where that comes from. I think it's not hatred of, oh yeah, professional wrestling sucks. It's like, no, I like professional wrestling, but some guy in some interview I saw from the 70s told me that all this is shit. And I actually kind of like it, but I'll go along and say all this is shit, basically, is what's going on. I think you made a point there. I don't know. I got lost halfway through that thought.
No, after that question and that statement I gave to Joe, the Adam Cole topic came up. And I had this like thought, you know, and when they came out and said Adam Cole wasn't going to sign back, my thought process is this. Okay, if Adam Cole goes in there and asks for more money and they say no, okay, but then they let go of all these wrestlers to pay Brock Lesnar that's going to come in and only work 6 times a year, and you can't give me, I'm the star of your secondary show, you can't give me a little added bonus. Of course I'm going to be pissed. Of course everybody else is going to be pissed too, you know? So I was telling Joe, I'm like, that's not a good business practice. I said, Joe, hypothetically speaking, you're an assistant manager somewhere, you go up and ask for a raise and they say, no, we can't, we're actually cutting staff, to make ends meet. But then you bring in a manager and you pay them more that hasn't worked for the company before. It's like, it's going to piss off the employees. Like,
yeah. And I think that still goes to like, again, like what that statement is implying of like people hate professional wrestling. It's like, do they, or do they hate this one company that is the most, if you're not really into the biz and you're just kind of like watching every once in a while, yeah, you would think, oh, WWE is it, and they treat their people like shit. So, and they get in trouble in all these different ways. So why the fuck would I like professional? Like, that shit sucks, kind of.
Okay, and now another question that I have to ask. You said about, the internet, and you said about, how professional wrestling fans, are the marks, and everything like that. Do you think that if the internet, let's say, was around in the 70s and 80s when like the big time territories, NWA, WWF, and everything like that, do you think they would have had the same kind of feeling, or would it have been worse because it was territorial?
That's a good question. I feel like it would have benefited kayfabe.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like back then they would have just shut things down even more because they weren't really seeing big money. They were seeing okay money. So I don't think to them it would have been a bad thing to just kind of like cut people off or do shows in certain places. Like, I feel like it would have just went further away from the media, which probably would have been worse. But that's what I think. Joe, Chris, what do you guys think?
I got nothing.
That's an astute observation, Joe.
I mean, in my personal opinion on it is, I think it would make professional wrestling more realistic during that time, because if you had like Florida Championship Wrestling, with Dusty, and oh man, what's his name? Butch Reed. Dusty and Butch Reed, run in Florida. And then you have, like, let's say Ric Flair coming in from NWA. And it's like, yes, it's going to draw money. But if the Florida Championship Wrestling fans are all for Dusty, are all for Butch Reed, they're going to send death threats and they're going to, like, find where Ric Flair's staying, And I think it was such a hotbed for territory, like wrestling, that it could have gotten a whole lot worse. So it's kind of like the internet came around at the perfect time, but then it just ruined everything after that.
Yeah, because like you made a good point of like how they would book the sport part of it and stuff like that, and I think that's an interesting point, because they probably would have went and tried to make things look even more real than before. So you would have had a different style of work, and you would have maybe even had like more brawl for all, maybe would have been the thing way earlier, and they would have just booked that. I don't know. I think it changes it for maybe the worse or the better. But I do agree that they would have had a different reaction to it than now. Now it's because we want to see behind the scenes stuff. I don't know. It's this weird, like with all the podcasts that are popular, all the stuff on TV or whatever people watch these days is popular. It's all nostalgia shit, but it's nostalgia shit without showing you the actual thing you're nostalgic for. You're just seeing the people talk about it, and people get off on that for some reason. So I think, and I don't think that would have happened back then if the internet would have started then. I don't think people would have cared about that. I think they would have been able to.
You brought up Brawl for All there for a second. I think it's funny that there was the whole thing about WWE cutting people under 6 foot and over 30 or whatever it was. What was Dr. Death, like Steve Williams, like age when he was brought in?
Oh, it was probably over 30, and he was about 5'10", 5'11".
Going head to head with Stone Cold, who's gonna be their biggest name and attraction. They're bringing in Dr. Death, Steve Williams, to like have that moment.
Well, they were banking on his WCW and All Japan run, because he was such a big hotbed.
But it's so funny that like they went to that, and now they're now you see where they're out of under 6 foot and over 30 is not welcome,
Right.
Well, it's like cyclical. Everybody says it's cyclical, dude. Like they got competition now, so they're going to their old ways of giants and switching it up, and they can choreograph it more that way. It's like, I feel like WWE, especially through the pandemic, has even found ways to choreograph those matches even more because they haven't had a crowd. Like I think there's more of a ratio of people in AEW calling things in the ring than there are in WWE. I feel like that's a ship that has sailed so far away, unless you're talking about like two like legends, like if Edge is in there or some shit like that. But I doubt that's a way of life anymore. So I think that doing it that way is like, yeah, they're just going back to their old model. And if these big guys can't work, it doesn't matter, because they can have an 8-minute match with a bunch of gaga, and we can book it in a way where you can still make them look like badasses. But will they? Like all these things get speculated on, and then they just do the opposite. Like Karrion Kross is a big badass motherfucker. They squashed him. So, and Karrion Kross is one of those like guys that you look at and everybody thinks, oh, Vince McMahon will love him because he's huge and he's like. So like, where does it go? And I don't think anybody knows where it's going. And that's another thing that I think is fucked, is that the internet has made it become a place of the bookers have to get ahead of the internet, and then they got to figure out what people are going to hate on what. Because even if you're ahead and you come up with a surprise, then the way you did it is fucked up. Oh, that's stupid. Like people were stoked about Blood and Guts, and then they did that stunt. It was like, oh, I look so dumb, blah, 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 blah. And then fucking same thing with WWE. Like, oh, they're going to do this, but they cut this out. So what the fuck? It's like getting a new video game. You're like, oh, that was my favorite part. And they cut it out. And then they added some new feature that you never even needed.
Zombies.
Yeah, dude, like I feel like that is more the problem now. If the internet happens in the 70s and 80s, I don't think that's where they think the problem is. I think they go into more trying to make it real, or trying to like, I think they book more carefully back then than they did now. I think they just, nobody knows everybody's going to hate on everything. So how do you get something over, especially in a time where you can't have fans in the building? So how am I going to get something over on social media if they hate everything? I think it's like I think all the writers are just like pissed off and frustrated, and then everybody doesn't know what to do.
So I'm very proud of myself. I've been holding this response into your first statement for this whole time. That's number one. But number two,
I already forgot what my first statement was. So
number two is I think you need to loosen the chain on Jim Cornette behind you. But going back to my response to what you said about the nostalgia factor, do you think now when we go back to like the dark side of the ring, you know, and all these like different behind the scenes from like the 90s, like Beyond the Mat, you know, and shit like that, do you think like the future is going to get deprived of the nostalgia because of the way like the network did like their 24/7, you know, following behind like wrestlers when they debut and everything like that? Do you think like there's too much out there in the atmosphere of what's going on now compared to what there was not then? Because I think that's what attracts me to like the Arn Anderson show, you know, Bruce Pritchard, like when they tell all these stories that no
Jim
one knew.
Cornette.
I left him off. No one knew those stories like in full. So like that's a nostalgia factor. So that draws me in. If 20 years from now, AJ Styles has a podcast and he's trying to talk about his times when he started up in professional wrestling, like, is there really much to talk about? Like, there's no nostalgia because everything's already accessible right now.
I feel like the guys maybe from like early 2000s till about 06 maybe have some crazy stories, but yeah, no, I agree. What did I say that sounded old school and Cornettish? Because I am, at the end of the day, I do prefer like
no, your dog was shaking and you said
gotcha.
you need to loosen the chains on Jim. It sounds like he's struggling. You don't want to kill him.
Old Jim's back here being a curmudgeon again, as he does.
Hey.
Now here's my thing too, and Joe's agreed with this because after it was one of those nights where I got a little inebriated, and in the middle of the night I texted Joe and I said, kayfabe died with Chris Benoit.
But did it?
Yeah,
because if you remember, that's when McMahon was killed in the limo.
Well, I know the angle. I'm just saying, like the internet was very much in full swing.
Yeah, but people were still believing that McMahon died in that limo. They were calling the cops from inside the arena.
There's always those people, you know.
That died.
That died. That's it.
That died. That's it. Yeah.
What do you mean he's not dead? It's fake.
You're gonna tell me, did anyone call the police when Darby Allin did a coffin drop on Ethan Page, like to make sure he's okay? They didn't call.
Did anybody call the cop? Did anybody call the cops when the ring blew up?
Yeah, like so. Like I think kayfabe died with Chris Benoit because everything about the steroids and the CTE and everything like that blew up, and it was all on mainstream media. And it was literally the night before is when McMahon blew himself up.
Yeah. I don't see it that way.
I don't know. Do you guys want to play a game?
And fucking Beyond the Mat was kayfabe.
Was it fake? Really?
No.
They kayfabe. And like Beyond the Mat was a lot of like them still keeping like some sort of kayfabe through a lot of things. Like there was just the way they told the story was.
Well, I know Darren Drozdoff had already been signed for like 3 months.
Yeah, and the kid they show is like the up and comer that was living in like the fucking in the
morgue.
No, well that, but he was living like upstairs at whatever that school was.
His name, first off, his name was Michael Modest.
Michael
Modest.
Modest Mouse was there, and but like
and do you remember his tag team partner? I believe his name was Tony Phillips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy with the singlet that JR said he didn't look good. and then somebody said they were going to steal his move, which is so there's certain snippets of that movie where you just see the wrestling business happening in front of you, and it's like, yeah, that's how it is. You just steal shit.
I mean, if you remember Michael Modest's finishing move, he like had him like draped over the back and then just sat down on. I'm like, dude, that was a dope move.
It was the like kind of like the Celtic Cross kind of deal. It was ahead of its time, you know.
Yeah, it's just a little guy doing it was a little unsafe. That's the only.
Yeah, it's all unsafe.
So you don't like little guys? Is that what you're saying?
I said a little guy doing that move.
Okay.
I can see like Phineas Godwin or like Midian. I think it's the same person doing that move. Like that would be their fucking
same person.
Wait, was that the same person?
Yeah, Phineas Godwin and Minnie.
Henry Godwin is the biggin. the big guy.
Wait. Phineas Godwin and Minion are the same person?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Southern
know that.
Justice. You remember that
I
one?
know that.
Yeah, he's actually an executive chef, I think, in St. Pete.
Hmm.
Very accomplished chef. He's also those two guys. I've heard story. Those guys are pretty tough guys. If we're on the subject, what game did you want to play, Joe? Well, who is the toughest?
I'm not wearing the blindfold this time because
Who's
I
the
don't want anything in
toughest?
my mouth.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
man.
Toughest guy.
We're gonna play guess the program.
Oh, okay.
You guys want to play?
Sure.
All right.
Oh,
we'll
by
start
the
with-
way, I sent Joe a meme. You can leave this on if it doesn't matter if you do. I mean, you might want to take it off, but it was a screenshot of someone was at AEW like fantasy whatever, and it was a little girl, and she was wearing an MJF dress and like flicking off the camera or something like that, and her dad was like, "Oh, MJF's biggest fan still, at AEW Fan Fest," and MJF retweeted it. He goes, "Is it too late to get an abortion?"
Nice.
That's
That's
really
heat.
funny.
That's good heat.
Really funny.
Especially with everything going on right now. That's heat like a motherfucker. Smart guy.
Dude, oh my god! Like I immediately saw it, screenshot it, sent it to Joe, and I'm like, "Dude, this is like ruthless."
Did you take it off? Did they make him take it off?
I don't know. I saved it.
No, I know, but is it still? Sometimes you see those and then you go back to show somebody and they're gone.
All right, so what game are we playing?
You guess the program.
Okay, give us a better like. Can you give us a better time frame?
What do you mean?
Like,
What year do you want?
no, like you like, you don't understand professional wrestling. They reuse the storylines and they like have like different matches and everything. Can you give us like a 3-year gap?
Okay.
Because before you gave us like WCW in 92 and like we had that thing where it was like, oh, it could have been 89 or
Okay,
it
you
could have
ready?
been 90,
I see what you're saying. For the
Opening match.
Okay.
Hack defeated Brian Knobs. Van Hammer. Hack.
Heck
Hardcore
Myers.
Hardcore hack.
Hack defeated
Myers.
Brian Knobs. Van Hammer defeated Mikey Whipwreck. Buff Bagwell defeated Disco Inferno. The No Limit Soldiers, Conan and Rey Mysterio Jr., defeated the West Texas Rednecks. Do you guys know who the West Texas Rednecks were?
It was Barry Windham and Kurt Hennig.
Kurt Hennig.
False. It was Kurt Hennig and Bobby Duncombe Jr.
Oh, well, he was in there too. That lets me know what year this is, though. I think.
Rap is crap.
Ernest Miller defeated Horace Hogan. Ric Flair defeated Roddy Piper.
Oh, never mind. No, this is. Oh, fuck.
Rick Steiner defeated Sting. Jersey Triad defeated Chris Benoit and Perry Saturn. Do you guys know who Jersey Triad was?
Yeah.
Who?
It's Chris Canyon, DDP,
Mm-hmm.
and who the fuck?
Lance Storm
What?
Bam Bam Bigelow.
or Bam Bam Bigelow, yeah.
And then Kevin Nash defeated Randy Savage. Okay, so what year, what pay-per-view, what promotion?
Are you gonna give Chris his range? Are you
Go ahead, Chris.
You're gonna give me my range?
What range do you want?
I thought we went over this. Like, is it like between like
a gap of years? Like fuck.
Yeah, it happened between 95 and 05.
I think it was. Oh no, hold on, because I know it was WCW. I mean, it was WCW, but was it around those years where they like started coming up with these like weird fucking pay-per-views?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they had Evil and Sin.
Oh,
I know that's 2000. That's in 2000, but like I want to say it was 1999 Spring Stampede.
Go ahead, Slawson.
Oh, it is 99, but it's before. It's before.
Oh, damn it. I know
It's
which one it is.
99, but you said Chris Benoit's on the card, so they left early 99 because they were on a couple of them were on No Way Out for WWF, and I'm trying to figure out what fucking month that was. I feel like it was March or February. So it's either WCW Uncensored.
You sounded like Chum Lee when you said that.
He looks like Chumley now.
He does. Ladies and gentlemen, this show is WCW taking place in 1999 at
Was it
the
Hog Wild?
Great
Was it
American
Hog Wild?
Great
Bash.
American Bash. Really?
As soon as I remembered, like you said, that the
You said
rednecks were
Macho
on there.
Man. Yeah, you said Macho Man, and I remember the poster. That was actually my first thought, but I thought that was too late in the year because you said Benoit, and Benoit had already left. They left so early.
Well,
All right.
no, Benoit left
Unless they
after
did the Great
Starrcade.
But when is Great American Bash in WCW? Isn't that June?
Yeah, but he left in Starrcade after Starrcade because remember he won the belt and then gave it up.
Oh, that's right. Fuck, I fucked myself over because it's 2000 was No Way Out. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
like I know you're. I was like I know that's not the way.
Fuck, dude, I would have had the right one then. God damn
I
it.
got a fun one for you guys.
But when he said the rednecks, I was like, oh man, I just want to take it back to either Great American Bash or Hog Wild. Huh?
Yeah, that's why. Because I used to love that gimmick. That was great.
You guys ready for this one? Colt Cabana defeats Azrael. Nigel McGuinness defeated Claudio Castagnoli. Alex Shelley defeated Steve Corino. Chris, you're shaking your head. Do you know what pay-per-view this is already?
Maybe just keep going.
Jay Lethal defeats BJ Whitmer, Christopher Daniels, and Samoa Joe. Ricky Reyes defeats Davey Andrews. Generation Next. Do you gentlemen know who Generation Next was?
That was Young Bucks.
No, sir.
Generation Next. Oh no, that's Generation Me.
Generation Next defeats Sal Reneo and Tony Mamaluke.
Oh
If you
no.
want, do you want to know who Generation Next is?
Yes.
Austin Aries and Roderick Strong.
Okay.
Brian Danielson defeated Naomichi Marufuji.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kenta defeats Low Key. What pay-per-view, what promotion, what year?
I believe this is ROH Final Battle in 2007.
Slawson?
I guess we're not giving year ranges. I'm gonna go ROH as well, but I'm gonna go. What did you say? 07? I'm gonna go 06. 08. I'm gonna go 08.
The point for this round, because Slawson, I believe you got the first round.
No, he
You
didn't
were
get it
closer.
right.
He was closer.
He was closer. The
Um,
point for this round goes to Mr. Thrasher.
That makes sense.
This is Ring of Honor Final Battle 07.
I don't know shit about Ring of Honor.
that
No,
was
no,
Brian.
05, 05,
I was
05,
gonna say-
05,
Oh,
05,
that's it.
05.
Yeah, 'cause that was close
what?
to his.
Oh,
That was close.
God damn it.
That was close to Daniel Bryan's like swan song. Because then he went to Dragon Gate and wrestled in
I was
Dragon
trying to
Gate.
figure out what years. Yeah, but there was like a lot of people on that card that I was trying to figure out where. Because originally, the first half of the card, I was like, is this like 03, 04 TNA? But it wasn't.
All right, so for the tiebreaker, we have, I need the year it happened, anywhere from 1975 to 2005. I need the pay-per-view and what company. Big Bubba Rogers defeated Mark Thorne. Disco Inferno defeats Joey Maggs. Alex Wright wrestled Eddie Guerrero to a no contest. Chris Thrasher is smiling so hard right now. The American Males. Who are the American Males, gentlemen?
Scotty Riggs and Buff Bagwell. American males. American males.
They defeated the Nasty Boys. Johnny B. Bad defeated Brian Pillman. Craig Pittman defeated Cobra. DDP defeated the Renegade. Harlem Heat defeated Brickhouse Buck and Dick Slater.
Dirty Dick Slater.
Arn Anderson defeated Ric Flair. And then Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, Lex Luger, and Sting defeated the Dungeon of Doom. Who was the Dungeon of Doom for an extra point?
It was it Kamala, Kevin Sullivan? I don't know if the Giant was there yet. But the Zodiac. I don't think it was the Yeti was there yet.
Yeah, there's different years. It was
You are
Bill
missing
Clinton
the
that earlier.
Shark and Mang.
Yeah,
Oh, Shark and
Between
Mang,
Kamala,
yeah.
the Zodiac, the Shark, and Mang with the Taskmaster.
Kevin Sullivan.
Yeah. All right. So, year pay-per-view promotion.
That was 1996 WCW Halloween Havoc.
All right. Slawson.
Oh shit! No, I'm sorry. I take it back. Take it back. 95 Halloween Havoc WCW.
I was like, I just watched that. I don't think that's correct. I'm gonna go WCW 95, but I'm gonna go Fall Brawl 95.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this week's Guess the Program. Can I get a Miami Mike's cousin?
Was it Fall Brawl?
It is 1995 Fall Brawl.
Oh, nice.
Damn it. Was it the one with the 3 cages?
Huh?
Oh no.
No, that's Hogan versus Flair and some shit.
No. What was the one where they had the like the scaffolding?
Yeah, that was Hogan versus Flair. I think it was like it was 95 as well, but it's like, oh, Lex Luger was in it too.
Yeah.
They went to the front like entryway and there was like 2 giant cages there and like nothing happened in the whole fucking match.
No, not the one in the ring. There was one like by the entranceway.
No, that's the one. There was like different stages. So they like started out of the ring and then they had to go up and it was like an early version of the fucking Ready to Rumble cage basically, but it wasn't the same. But yeah, dude, that was I forget what pay-per-view that was, but I don't think that was that one. That was like that might have been like
That was uncensored, I think.
Say like in the summer or like earlier in the year, yeah.
Or sold out.
Sold out. That's what I was fucking trying to think of for 99, and it would have been wrong anyway. But yeah, dude, I was trying because like uncensored, sold out was the first one. Sold out was always the January one, and then uncensored was like February.
Yeah,
Dude,
and then they
I
had.
didn't know. I did not know Midian was a part of the Godwins.
Yeah, he's the guy with the slop bucket. The big jack dude is just Dennis Knight, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I remember the Godwins had like such a huge part of my life as a childhood.
Dude, I could be a Godwin. I wish they would bring that back. I would fucking wear overalls and fucking do the Godwin thing.
I don't know. I got asked to go down to CCW and try out for a residential scumbag.
You look like one.
Should join.
That's why I don't put my hair down, because then I just look like Miami Mike.
Hey, did your cousin drop off the belt to you? You have the belt with you?
Those are in an undisclosed location, and what's that?
So did they win the belts?
You know, you could say that. They won the
But
belt.
did they? You can say it, but did they?
You can say it. Say it.
I mean,
The Residential Scumbags won the tag team titles.
Mm.
You could say that out of your mouth, and it would be true to you. It's true to me.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned for our next podcast in Spanish.
Dude,
Hit
yeah,
the SAP button now.
we're gonna start reviewing house shows.
Alex Ocean, a 2-star.
I have another cousin.
Wait, first off, you just sounded like you were Filipino. Like you just Alex Ocean 2-star.
Yeah, you just gotta say
Alex Ocean.
you gotta put a Spanish word, a simple Spanish word in front of the sentence and one at the end, and it's Spanish.
You just
Por
sounded
favor,
like you Ultimo
agony.
Dragon.
El 12 2-star.
Isn't Ultimo Dragon Japanese?
Yeah, but the way he just said it, he sounded fucking like Ultimo Dragon.
Yeah, you sound Japanese. You could be a Japanese guy speaking Spanish. That's cool too. I like that.
So next week, the debut of the ratings wars.
The debut of the Three Amigos. That's what we should call
The three conquistadors.
it. Hey, there you go.
So I see that was it the Daily Wrestling promotion is running another show September 25th at the CCW Arena. It actually made ringside news on my Facebook. Yeah, CCW Arena did with the address in Pompano Beach, and Tyler Breeze is going to be there.
Get it going. It's gonna be like the Chase. It's gonna be like fucking what's the one that NWA shot at for so many years. There's just gonna be a name, CCW Arena.
It's like the arena of 2300.
Dude, the 2300 ring. Yeah. Oh, that's got a good ring to it. That's good. We gotta get Dan or Blake to call it that once or twice when they shoot there.
What the Bay 109 doesn't sound good.
No, that sounds like a science fiction film.
Yeah. Come on down to the Bay 109.
I'm not going there. I don't know what happens there, but
sounds like a glory hole. Oh, I like that one.
That's was that Del Wilkes?
Yeah, I like that one. We're looking at Lucha Libre mask. Well, Joe is, and he's shown it to the screen, so it's not.
So
I'm not saying I like glory holes. I'm not saying that.
and I'm not.
Dude, I have no idea what you guys talking about. I have not shown anything on screen. This guy.
And I'm not saying that Del Wilkes is anyway involved with glory holes. I mean, I do not know, but he was showing me a Patriot-esque looking lucha mask.
Yes.
Why I said people
yes.
You'll figure it out next week.
And I think Tony Nese is on that card too.
For Daily Wrestling?
Yeah.
I believe so. I saw.
I think Antonio Tarver is.
Was I wrong? Was Tyler Breeze doing something for them recently?
Yeah, I just said that. Yeah.
Oh, is that who is that?
That's Sin Cara's mask.
No. I was saying, who is that? Tony Nese? Who's Tony Nese?
Tony Nese is he was the fit guy on 205 Live.
Oh no, I know Tony Nese. I thought you meant Tyler Breeze's name was Tony Nese. I didn't hear you say Tyler Breeze. Dude, I want that one. That one's like a tiger mask. I'm into it.
Yeah.
It's your responsibility. You guys have to go order, and we have to have them for next week so we can start reviewing.
Okay. Are we done?
El Will Ostino 1 star.
Oh, if he's getting that.
You just sound like fat ass Masa now.
You can try it every time you talk. You're gonna do a different accent, and it's just gonna be great. And it's just gonna be a different accent attempting to speak Spanish.
Like I want to be a British Spanish guy.
El Miami Mike.
Yeah.
Now you just sound like you're French.
I want to talk like it's like the bad guy from Ozarks, the cartel guy. I'm gonna talk like that.
How about this on mine? I'm just gonna put the mask on. I'm gonna put the mask on, and Ariel Levy is gonna stand around, and
he can talk for you.
Yeah,
which is basically the same accent. So I'll pick a different accent. Ariel has that accent.
He makes my pants wet when he talks.
Wow, just like glory holes, huh?
Mm-hmm. No.
You love glory holes. You just said you did.
He makes Del Wilkes' pants wet.
Wine 'em, dine 'em, 69 'em.
Boom. That's Del Wilkes' catchphrase. Del Wilkes has gotten more fucking name dropping on this podcast than he has in a while.
Hey, you guys know Dory Funk died?
He did not. He's alive. He's gonna wrestle Del Wilkes in the next episode.
No, Del Wilkes died
for the glory hole.
Yeah,
that's right. For the Glory Hole Championship, Del Wilkes versus Dory.
The GCW.
So you know Del Wilkes passed away.
GHC.
No, stop. You guys stop. Del Wilkes is dead.
What? No, he's
Del Wilkes died like a month ago.
Yeah, he did die.
No, he didn't. You're lying.
Yes, he did. He died like a month ago.
Go ahead, look it up.
Look it up.
He's tag teaming with Bobby Eaton right now.
Yeah, bro. I was listening about it on Busted Open Radio about a month ago.
Well, I'm like 95% sure.
I'm 100% sure Del Wilkes died.
He did. He died in June.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I knew it like 2 months ago.
How do you tarnish the good name of Del Wilkes saying that he's gonna go wrestle in a glory hole against Dory Funk?
Yeah, with
What kind of a person are you?
I
with
believe
Bobby Eaton in there.
a pretty severe substance problem, and he was not friends with a lot of people. So I don't feel bad, but I did like he
Was Jacques Rougeau tough?
still his music.
Was Jacques Rougeau tough?
Yeah.
Was the Dynamite Kid tough?
I believe so. I believe that was the whole reason why he crippled himself.
Was
No, I think he
Miami Mike
crippled
tough?
himself. I think he crippled himself because he wanted to get paid.
Do you think so? Dude, we should talk about you guys ever hear about that Lords of London shit, the insurance policies that wrestlers used to have?
Yeah, the fucking Legion of Doom made that fucking popular.
A lot of those Minnesota guys had them. I actually didn't know. I just recently found out that the reason Ted DiBiase, I believe it's Ted DiBiase, he couldn't do anything.
There you go. You just got Bo over on our show, by the way.
No, I wasn't on screen, so it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
he did. He laughed and it picked it up.
Oh, gotcha. Well, hey, Bo. So fucking what's it called? So Ted DiBiase couldn't take a bumper, couldn't do anything because of a Lords of London deal when he went over to WCW. And I didn't know Rick Rude just cashed it in super early, and that's why he needed like the money later in his life, which is fucked up.
Well, no, because remember, it was like a whole like turbulent like process with him because I think he cashed it in early, but then he didn't go do that stunt in Japan.
Yeah,
it was like literally 2 month difference as he cashed it in early, and then
he had to pay it back or something.
Well, yeah, because he wasn't getting booked, so he had to use that money as for like to pay out his
injury, yeah,
you know, to live off of. And I think
Hennig had it, but then he went back to the ring.
Well, I think Rick Rude only had I think it was only something like it was like a year's salary or something like that, but then he couldn't wrestle anymore. That's why he had to take the manager and announcing in ECW.
Yeah, the one for Kurt Hennig, I think was only like $700,000 or something.
That is the most disturbing thing I think I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, I've seen worse. We're talking about a zoomed in. Who is it? Yeah, fuck Joe. So he can be on the show. We'll tag him. Are you gonna? Okay. Well, now nobody can see it, and then this is.
I don't want anybody to see it.
There you go. That's how we should end it. And on that note.
Oh man. All right. So the show's over?
I guess.
Oh, is it?
What else are we gonna talk about?
Say something stupid so we can fucking move on.
Something stupid so we can fucking move on.
Great.